Hello, dear hearts, darlings, beloveds, children of all things sacred, beautiful beings. I am coming to you to contribute an It Gets Better video to the It Gets Better project, which has been making videos to different folks have been making videos to address the teen LGBTQ suicides that have occurred over the past couple of weeks. And so I'm offering up my story to add to the grains of sand that we're all tossing towards dealing with this issue. I feel like all of our stories are grains of sand that hopefully make up something beautiful. So I'll just share my like a bit of my story. I grew up between Syracuse, New York, and Nigeria, and being being the child of immigrants there's like a lot of like lessons and stories within that, and a lot of them are similar across the board. You know, all children of immigrants sometimes have similar experience around belonging and juggling multiple cultures and languages. And some of the things that I had to deal with were people making fun of my accent when I got back from Nigeria. I was always one of, if not the darkest person like around. Like I was, and so I got made fun of for that. I got made fun of for getting good grades because I got good grades because that was like a value of mine, and I wanted to do well, and I found learning interesting. And so I got made fun of for that, and I got called white not only for that, but because of the way that I talk. I got made fun of and called white. I got teased like so much. It was like ridiculous. I used to run home from the bus every day to not get my ass beat, like during school as a child. I was really, really deeply, deeply tormented and isolated in a lot of ways growing up. So much so that before my junior year of high school, at Jamesville DeWitt High School, I went to Principal Gessling with my mother and said, I'm ready to leave high school. I can handle doing my last 2 years of high school together. I'm ready for college. And I did it. I had no elective ever. I had like 2 gym classes, 2 science classes, 2 English classes, and was applying for college. And I applied to 10 schools and got into all of them, got into my top choice, and left, even though people were like, there's no way, I've never ever heard of anybody doing 2 years of high school together. You're not going to be able to do it. I was like, really, Todd? Really? Because I did it, and I'm gone, and you're still in high school. So, I was just so ready to leave, and I spent a lot of time being sad as a child, feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling not loved. I remember crying myself to sleep. I was like 10 years old. I remember I like clearly have these distinct memories of like crying myself to sleep, feeling like nobody loved me. And I think that the reason why, and as severely teased as I was for like my brown, beautiful, earth, dark skin, one of the reasons I feel that I don't have like huge fucked up skin color issues is because my mother always told me that I was beautiful. Always. And she was the primary like caretaker in my life, and having the abundance of her love somehow balanced out all the hatred that was being piled at me on a day-to-day basis. And so I guess I want to say that, a lot of really brilliant people get teased. Like a lot of artists get teased because artists are by definition creators. And, when you are a creator and you are creative, you make things up that may or may not already exist in your world as you see it. And people who look at you might not like it, might not be accustomed to it, might feel insecure by it, might feel challenged by it. And so they pick on you sometimes a lot of times because of their own fucked up shit, and it has nothing to do with you. You just happen to be a target, and they have all this crap that they're going through, and they're projecting it onto you, and maybe in 10 years they'll understand how fucked up they're being, or maybe they'll grow up and become George Bush and bomb other countries. But these are the kinds, like, we live in this country that really condones bullying as foreign policy, as social commentary, as like a normal way to speak about other countries and each other. And so a lot of times parents, aunties, uncles, normalize this behavior and dismiss it and say, oh, that's just teasing, that's just what happens, and it's not normal. And I feel like, you know, it's important to be accountable to the kind of society that we create. And no, you may not be in charge of like, you know, the budget at some school to enact some kind of like anti-bullying program for youth, you know, but as someone who knows, kids in your neighborhood and who bears witness to people teasing each other on the bus, or maybe you're a teaching artist or a teacher, or you have like kids in your family, like there are things that you can do. If you see teasing happening, stop it. Have a conversation about it. Don't just say stop teasing or stop being an asshole or whatever it is that people say to like their kids or the kids in their lives. Like, but really have a conversation about why do you feel the need to say something mean to somebody else? What does that do for you? And address that as on a human level, not just I'm an authority talking down to you or whatever. So I think like I want to talk about, okay, my story and what I've gone through, and that just to open up and show that, but also to have proactive solutions and how we can, on a day-to-day basis and an individual level, make changes, and to really even understand the depth of what teasing is. Like, to call it teasing or bullying in a lot of ways is a misnomer. You know, it's beyond that. It's torment. I know when I was a child, I was deeply, thoroughly, and consistently tormented. Like, I hung out with queer kids. I was outed. I was outed at 15. Somebody screamed dyke in the middle of the hallway at 15, like in high school, in the middle of like classes changing and everybody like around, and my first instinct was to scream back thank you. And from then on I was out, and I was just like, I hung out with queer kids, like all these bi girls. We would like hang out together and like kiss face, and it didn't make me any friends, but I had a couple of friends, and I think it's important to find a couple of people to be your friend, or maybe one person. And if you can't find one person, that one person might have to be you. We are in a world of social networking, and so there's ways for you to like find friends online. Of course, like be safe, but definitely find like clubs, organizations, read the works of James Baldwin and Audre Lorde and Alice Walker, and just Google people, like read my work. Like, I talk so much about belonging and ethnicity and home, and I would say also create, because I didn't have any friends. I had like either very few friends or no friends. And so I made up stories. I started writing when I was 9. I've been writing for 21 years. And the primary reason that I started writing and reading was so that I could escape into another world, a creative world, where things were different than the actual world that I was living on a day-to-day basis. So I would write poetry, write stories, create. Like, I made up friends and I had them, and they were on the pages of like my journals my whole life. And I I had this whole life and world, and I would like read Bruce Colville and Christopher Pike and like Virginia Hamilton, and I got into reading Stokely Carmichael. Like, I was so progressed. I was so precocious as a reader that when I got to college, they were assigning readings to me, some of which I'd already done in high school, because that's what I did. Like, I didn't have that many friends, so I just like delved into art, making art and looking into other people's art. And so I guess, I just wanted to share a little bit of my own perspective and my own life, and to say that it does get better, and it gets hella good, and that depends on you, and you have to make the choice to be here, and you have to understand that you are valuable, and your story means something to somebody. I mean, what would have happened if I was like, fuck it, and just stopped trying and stopped making art? So many people write me emails about like how important my work is to them and what it does for them. And like, your life isn't just your life. You have to understand that you're so important. Somebody else, I wrote this piece, I was like, somebody has your words wrapped around their wrist to save. Somebody has your words wrapped around their wrists to stop the bleeding. Everything you do matters. So you might not know how important you are, but you're important to somebody. Like, this video is going to touch somebody in a deep way. Some other video that I've seen has touched me in a deep way. I've watched stuff online that's made me cry and made me write pieces and like solidified, my own belief in myself in ways that that person might never know. And they don't ever have to know, because that love that they put out is going to end up coming back to them in some other way. So we're all connected. And I know it sucks. I know people are fucking assholes. Even at 12, people can be really fucked up assholes, because a lot of people are going through their own crap. They're getting raped by their fucking parents, or they're poor, or whatever. And they're using that, unfortunately, as an excuse to take that out on somebody else. And that's bullshit, but it's real. At the same time, you can't allow someone else's pain to become your own. And you have to understand that, like, it will get better. It can get better. It absolutely will get better. And you have to be the one to be strong enough to stand up against that, and to find resources for yourself, because they exist. And to find one friend, be your own friend, make art. If you believe in praying, pray. If you know how to meditate, meditate. Read, believe, try to make it through another day, because trust me, your life is so important, and you have no idea what you are going to do and what your breath already is doing. And so that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that I love you, even though we've never met. I do believe that we have cosmically met and might have passed each other on the street. And we're all connected in these really deep, beautiful ways. And so I just wanted to share my story and my heart and my words with you. And I encourage you to keep living. Thank you.